Hello and welcome to another episode of the Scarpa War with me, Russ Johnson. I'm joined as ever by Waggy. You all right, mate?
Yes, very good, mate. Very good. Still feeling champion.
You're still feeling champion, yeah. We've got
Still
a little
feeling
scene
champion,
our name, haven't we? Yeah. At least until the fixtures come out, we're allowed to have that C next to our name, aren't we? Maybe we'll talk about the fixtures tonight. Maybe we're running out of things to talk about because it is a close season. We did say we were going to do this throughout the close season, which we will do. I just feel like we're going to be scratching around sometimes, aren't we, for things to talk about?
You'll be all right as well. I'm sure, and I'm not on for the next 3 weeks after this week because I'm going on with Jollies and celebrating my 50th birthday. So I'm sure that I can find something to talk about in 3 weeks to come back with. So,
well, of course, yeah.
God knows what you're going to do for the next 3 weeks.
Well, this is it. Yeah, I think I'll just celebrate your 50th birthday if that's all right.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, come along.
Lovely stuff. Hello to everybody that's online. Cheers. Thank you. All the usual people, including Clive Parkin from Mansfield Matters. Hello, fellow League Oneers. We need a bigger ground. We sold out our season tickets. I think we're not far from selling out ours as well, are we? I think
there's 800 left, but they're renewals. I think 800 to 1,000 left, right, but they're renewals. So they've got until Friday to get there. Otherwise, what's left will go on open sale, I believe.
Yeah, which I'm sure they will go, won't they? They will go.
I'm sure they will do. It's getting towards these. This is like the sort of payday period, isn't it? If you like, the last week.
Yes.
Last week of the month. So there's probably still people that are waiting out for paydays.
Yeah, definitely. Tonight we've got a fan guest. I say he's fan guest. He's more like he's I think he's been elevated to friend of the show. So he's in that middle tier, I think.
Ooh,
so
don't say that. It'll upset Andy.
Well, no, there's lots of friends of the show. They're the middle tier people that are on often. So yeah, we're going to talk about Mingi coming in, Hippo and Evans going out, Crowsdale. There's a rumor about that as well. Rumors about Dave Challoner going to Birmingham. I mean, we'll cover that for all of 7.5 seconds. Other rumors as well. Liam Roberts, goalkeeper, coming in, and whatever other rumors everybody else has got, please do put that in the chat. Because I'll be honest with you, don't really go for rumors. I just thought unless Sam Byrne pretty much says it or some of the reputable ones, I just kind of ignore them really. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, that's my prerogative. Club shop ticket office extension. I'm hoping someone can tell us where that's up to. And then we'll have a word on England because there's a reason we're going to have a word on England, and that'll all become apparent once we get our guest out, who is none other than you've seen him before. I probably don't even have to introduce him, but it is Righty.
We're just normal men.
What do you mean, normal men?
We're just innocent men.
I'll put that one on for you, Righty.
I have no idea
what you're trying to say there, Russ.
Have you not seen that before?
No, never come across that. It's almost like I don't even know what it was. What was that?
It was a children. I think it's CBBC in it or something.
Something to do with CBBC, or it was one of the Saturday morning kids programs. But
like Rainbow with all the innuendos being thrown in.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, thought I'd put that on for you. Anyway, are you all right, mate? How's it going?
Very well, mate. Very well. Thank you for having me back on. Yeah, it's close season, like you say, but I'm more shocked about Waggy being 50. I thought kept that one quiet, didn't he? I was like, this bloody Stockport Springwater's obviously working for him, you know.
Well, he's
very like around,
is he?
I feel older than him after that last season, up and down, but at least we got there. Feeling champion.
Yes.
Feeling champion. Excellent stuff. So yeah, we'll talk about England, but first I want to talk about you, Righty. Can you remember your first game?
I don't remember my first game because I was so young. When my dad was bringing me, I think I was about 5 or 6 or something before I moved away from Stockport. Don't know my first game. My favourite game I can answer. It was Man City at home when John Hardiker scored both them goals. I was I'm quite fortunate. I know John as well, and I used to play cricket against him. So when it was even more special when he bagged both of them goals. So I was like, yeah, I know. Just remember all the City fans trying to jump into our end, a bit worrying, but very memorable.
So you say you know John? Do you still know John Hardiker?
I'm not like tight with him or anything like that, but I do know him, and I do know him well enough to speak to. He used to play for Vernon Carris at cricket many years ago.
Right.
So, yeah, had a few tussles.
Do you reckon you could get him on the pod? I mean, I don't want to have a production
knew
meeting
this,
now.
man.
But...
I knew exactly where that question
This is going to go down this route. I can see what I can do. I can see if I can pull some contacts out, because I haven't got him on Facebook, but I've got him through a few mutual friends. So yeah, I can be able to.
That'd be brilliant.
Right.
That would be good. That'd definitely be special.
It would be. Yeah, I'd like to ask him if he remembers going on a night out with me and my mate in Preston when I lived there. Because we bumped into him. Oh, I forget what it was called. The Corn Exchange.
Yeah, it's the Witherspoons now. It's called 12 Tellers now. It's called.
Right. We bumped into him in there. It's like, you're John Hardiker. And he's like, no, I'm not. And I was like, it's probably not then, is it? You know, when you feel like a right div because you've asked. And it was him. And then we went to what was the like the dingy club in Preston called at the time?
Tokyo Joe's.
Tokyo Joe's. He went to Tokyo Joe's.
Well, Tokes as they call it. Yeah, Tokes. Yeah, mental.
Tokyo Joe's. God, I think even I've been in that.
Yeah, you might be on the way out. Horrendously. Even the seagulls round there fly upside down.
Try the veal. He's here all week. What about your favourite ever player?
Favourite ever player has to be Kevin Cooper. I just loved out. And to be honest with you, Barry reminds me a little bit of him. Just the way he took on players and made things happen for the team. It was so I loved him. He was always it's a close call between him and Luke Beckett, I must admit, but definitely Kevin Cooper, I think. Yeah, and I believe you're going to go on to favourite goal.
I am going to. You've read the script.
I have said. I've seen this before. I'm excited about this one because it will Bolton away. Tony Dinning.
Oh yes.
1-0 won it. Tony Dinning scored an absolute screamer, and I was right in front of that. So yeah, it's kind of like just memories. I remember of being a kid with my dad and stuff. So that kind of like embedded itself in my memory. That goal, very good goal.
Good. Yeah, no, it's a class one. That's a class one. Gazendo says still waiting for Mark Payne to come on. I know, mate. I've got a very long list of people that we're going to get on. But we have got somebody on. We got somebody on the other day. I'll give you a sneak preview of it now before we move on to Mingi and county stuff. So we were delighted to be joined by Caron Palmer. So that podcast will be out on Friday to everybody. It's already been out for patrons for nearly a week now. About half a week. We'll be getting on for a week on Friday. So here's a bit of a sneak peek. So just enjoy this, and then we'll come back to you. How did you manage that, going from being a player to the manager in the changing room and on the pitch?
It was really difficult, to be honest with you. I can say that now, looking back. At the time, I thought I would be able to deal with it. I had Kevin Richardson came in as my assistant, top bloke, and I thought I could deal with it. I spoke to Brendan Elwood. Brendan Elwood, who was the chairman of Stockport County at the time, was a fantastic bloke. He contacted me. I had 2 years left on my contract at Coventry, but I'd come to the end where, it was time for me to retire from playing football. And when you take that first job, it's always difficult. You've got to make sure you get it right.
It was. I really enjoyed it. It was a brilliant interview. As you say, we mentioned it, I think, on the actual pod after we interviewed him. He's not backwards at coming forwards. So there's some quite good stuff in there. And I don't know if this leads us into what we're going to talk about next, possibly, but his views on England, current England squad, and how to play, I thought was very interesting as well. So I'm not going to say you need to watch it or listen to it to listen to what he had to say. But that was quite interesting. Quite interesting what he said.
I remember getting interviewed on TV about when Caron Palmer got elected as manager on the streets when all Sky were down a Hardcastle Road. I remember getting pulled in. I was only about 14. I can't remember how old I was. I was only young, about 15. I don't know how old I was. But yeah, I remember getting on ITV. It was pretty surreal. And I think it was a Norwich. Was it Norwich's first game?
First home game with Norwich. Yeah,
it was. And 2-1 was it? If I remember correctly?
And he scored the winner. Yeah,
that was it. Yeah, good knowledge.
Yeah, he did. He did. Let's just show that goal.
Caron Palmer is making his way forward into the box. Ollie Gibb, who's left the free kicks this afternoon to Peter Clark to take them. Looking long. It's Palmer on the far post, and Caron Palmer has got the goal for Stockport County. Now dreams are made of.
the dreams are made of.
Yeah, then it went all downhill and it was nightmare after that, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't remember that. I don't remember it being such a good finish. That was brilliant.
Yeah,
it was good.
Yeah,
very good.
I was in the railway end for that. I'm sure they opened up the railway end, didn't they? Remember being in the railway end, and Paul McVeigh scored for them, I think, and it was an absolute proper good goal. Pretty sure that was the. Or was he in the railway end when Llewellyn scored? I don't know. Anyway, I'm shit at remembering stuff, as we've established.
Yes.
So I don't know why people are taking my word for it.
Just grateful to be here, aren't we? On the pod.
There's far more qualified people to be doing this than me, I swear. Yeah, let's turn our attention to present day then, and the new lad Mingi, obviously come in on a deal. Is it 2 years he's got? Does he get 2 years, or was it a 3-year deal?
2 years according to Transfer Market.
Yeah. Right-sided centre half. By all accounts, bit of a beast going forward, or
I think
is he a bit of a utility player?
I think the best way to describe him, I think, is more as like an Akil Wright. I think he's more of a defensive midfielder, but listening to his interview, he got put back into like a right-sided centre back or a right back for Colchester. That's from listening to his interview that he did when he joined. That's what he seems to, and he seems to like be really enjoying it back there. So to me, it seems as if it's possibly an Akil Wright upgrade. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I took the words out of my mouth there because he's got like that speed and to get away from the attackers, hasn't he, to open up for the midfield. Because I find the defence to midfield, Akil Wright was brilliant, wanting to just like surging forward. And with the clips I've seen of him, he's very, very similar. But I would just wonder whether Colchester had him in that situation as a needs must to try and stay up, because whether to shore up the defence, I don't know whether he'd be better a bit further up, maybe as a wing back or something like that, because he has certainly got decent pace and feet on him, hasn't he? Might be even wasted at a centre back. I don't know.
That's the same. If he's originally a defensive midfielder, is he sort of more of a Crowsdale replacement to sit as that, in front of a back four? Yeah, there you go.
Stuart Hope says I think Mingi will play the Crosby role, but he can play right centre back.
Yeah,
I think he's spot on.
Yeah. Hopefully, as I say, we need that. I think you need a bit more of a mix of a Camps and a Crowsdale, don't we? Camps is more of he's not a defensive midfielder. He's more of like, as we sort of said, that quarterback type of role, isn't it? More than an actual defensive midfielder. So maybe this guy is a bit more of that, but he's got that drive to go forward as well and to be able to take the ball forward. So, but 23 years old, fits the bill, doesn't it? So it's
fingers crossed. And the more positions he covers, is the better, isn't it? If we get injuries in certain positions, then it covers more area, doesn't it? I don't think we'll ever in our lifetime have an injury list like what we've had this season.
Oh, God, I hope not.
I say that, and I'm picking up pieces of wood in this room, like just like a bit of luck,
touch.
Please, no more injuries.
But I think, though, overall, though, saying about that, I know that I think ours was a lot worse than most people's, but I think pretty much every fan that we talked to last season on Nia, pretty much everyone said they'd gone through an injury crisis or they've got 4 or 5, 6 players out. Pretty much every single team. And you look like, you go up even the top leagues in Premier League and stuff, they all seem to have quite a lot of injured players. And I don't know, it just seems really strange this season. There's been a lot more injuries everywhere.
What do you reckon that's through? What, like overload of players, overtraining, overplaying, or?
I don't know. I don't think anybody can really put anything down to whether it's to do with that hangover from COVID, because we had the late start and the late finish of the season, and then an early start to the season after. So I don't know if it's like, just sort of that. But as you say, you just couldn't. The amount of injuries that we had was just absolutely unbelievable. And as we said, it was all key players, wasn't it? But none of it was training injuries, was it? There was no one really, coming suddenly not being available. It was all sort of match day injuries, a lot of them getting took off because they'd done something where we thought it was insignificant. And, they just ended up being like Collar. I think initially it was like, oh, he's only going to be out for 2 weeks. He didn't play again for the season.
It's true. They can't complain on the pitch. The pitch is one of the best in the league. The training facilities, Carrington.
Well, it is the best in the league, isn't it? Hasn't he won a new award?
Yeah.
So it's like it's not the facilities, so we can't put it down to that. I don't know what other teams speak for, but I mean, I know there's a.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody else has had it as bad as us. I think I get the impression that everyone's had like 4, 5, maybe 6 injuries at one point.
Yeah.
Where it's sort of, as an aggregate, but or as a total. But we had, I think someone's put in the comments, we had 13 out at one point. And it was a sustained period when we'd had, I don't know, 9, 10, and 11 out. So I do think we've been a bit hamstrung with that. And the fact that we've finished top just says so much about the squad, the strength in depth, and the staff. It's just brilliant.
That as well, and you think that the players that weren't expecting to get as many games, I don't think, that have stepped up and you've done really well. And considering the amount of, as you say, the amount of changing to start in 11, I think it was only really when we went on the 12-game winning run, wasn't it, that we had a fairly consistent team, didn't we, for that?
Yeah.
My neighbour across the road from me is a Carlisle fan, so it didn't sit well with me. Obviously, losing at Wembley was awful, but we have a bit of a come together and have a bit of a chat every now and then. And he seems to think, and I totally agree with him. I think the fact that we didn't go up, I think it's, in hindsight, of course, we'd love to have gone up, but in hindsight, it's so much better. I think the stability is miles better. And just look what's happened to Carlisle. I think they've, as much as they've gone up and they've enjoyed the day, they've not been able to live with that League One.
But it's a wonder as well that if we had have gone up with the injuries that we've had this season, how we would have fared and where we would have been. Because as you say, it's obviously it's the next step up, isn't it? League One. Yeah. But I think it might have made it. I think we might have brought different players in. I think possibly.
Yeah.
I think there was a League Two list and a League One list, wasn't there, that they were looking at, and I think that might have made a difference. But we'll see.
So back on to Mingi. So we went off on a tangent there, didn't we?
Well, that's it. Well, no, it's timely, really, because it brings it back to Mingi, doesn't it? When we recruiting players, that Stott said himself, he wants to bring players in that fit the ethos, and this, wants to get the value out of them. So it looks like Mingi's that kind of player because he's young, isn't he? He looks like a bit of a unit. Looks like I've seen clips of him when he was at Portsmouth, so he can definitely do stuff. He looks good. Having not seen him play, it's hard to judge, isn't it? But
well, we've seen him play twice. He's played against us both times, hasn't he? But I don't really. Exactly. I wouldn't say. I mean, Colchester wouldn't be a team that stands out to think, oh, I'm going to watch this for talent spotting. See who we can sign from them. I'm just looking at how we play. So I'm absolutely terrible with players from any other team. So when we start getting linked with players from this player and he played against us and it's just like, nope, not got a clue who you are. So never going to
It's
pretend to
funny
be
though,
an
isn't it,
expert
right?
on them at all.
I wonder.
No, back in the day,
what
right?
Sorry, Russ, go on, mate.
I was going to say, back in the day, right, when we were in the league before, I didn't know the full 11, but there'd be one or two that you knew of. You know, you'd be like, oh bloody hell, they've got that player. They bloody hell would. Someone like Mingi would probably just not fade into the background kind of thing, but you wouldn't unless he had an absolute barnstorming game against us, which I don't think he did last season. Fevrier was more, I think, more outstanding than him. He's kind of just sort of, bleeds into the background for me.
That's who I was going to mention. That Fevrier, is any more on him? Do you reckon? Because he looks a decent prospect as well.
There's rumours that we're signing him, but as you say, the rumours. So unless Sam Byrne tells us, then it's gospel.
Yeah, that's it. I'm on Twitter every day, or X, as they call it.
Stuart Hope is talking a lot of sense. This is the third comment I think I've put up with Stuart Hope's. We've got to trust Simon Wilson and Charlie. We can count on one hand the number of signings that haven't worked, if there are any at all. There's definitely some that haven't worked. Dunwell Turan is probably one I could name. That was definitely under Wilson and Charlie, was it? But yeah, of course it was. Yeah. But yeah, I think you're right. I think we've got to trust them that they'll get it right more than they'll get it wrong.
Exactly, but every single club does that. You can't. There's
no
way you're not going to get 100% hit rate, are you? Even your likes of like Man City and stuff, they've not got 100% hit rate. Chelsea have not. United have not. Nobody's got 100% hit rate. So it's just a case of, as you say, you take the rough with the smooth, don't you? 9 times out of 10, they're going to sign a decent. There's going to be a good signing, but every once so often we're going to get it wrong.
Yeah, I'm a big believer. It doesn't matter what sport it is. You can get really, really good players, football or cricket or tennis, anything you want. But if they don't fit in the environment that to thrive in, they won't play well. How many players have we known that have gone to clubs and just absolutely shown their arse because they've not fit in for some reason? The culture in the background might not be well. They might not fit in with the team, the style of play. But all of a sudden, you'll find that player that he'll come in and he'll go, well, this is my environment. I love this. I feel loved. The style of play suits me. And then they play like a champion, don't they? So, I play for a few sporting teams where I've not fitted in well and not done so well. But then I found my home and it's like, wow, this is so different. And you can almost see it in some players. You go, there's a good player in there somewhere, but he's obviously just not fit in well here and go on to better things.
I think the ideal thing for that is Barry. He didn't do very well at MK Dons. They thought he was a waste of space. They didn't really like him. He didn't really work well at Salford last season, did he? He wasn't very good there. And now he's just head and shoulders above the player that he was that we've seen even playing against us. And again, last season in the playoff final, I don't remember Barry playing against us. I know he was the only Salford player that scored a penalty, but that's the only thing. I don't remember any of the runs that he made for us this season, or the play that he did for us. It was just like, I'd have noticed that if he'd have been doing the same thing for Salford. So, as you say, just the environment, the system, or whatever it was, just didn't suit him. But he's come into us and been given the freedom to say, there you go, do what you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Got some comments coming in here. Yeah, it was Rusk that signed Dunwell Turan and Wilson though. So that kind of what I was getting at really was more the Wilson element of that. Courtney Hatter of X says Cheadland unofficially is your number one source for transfers. So if you want any transfer news, go to Cheadland unofficial. I'm not seeing that account for a while. I've not seen any pop up yet so far this closed season. Nothing yet. No, we're not going to talk about Ross Barkley. David De Gea.
We don't.
The first thing you said to me that I was messaging Ross. I was going, have you heard anything? You must have heard some snippets on who was signing because I'm getting worried now. And he goes, I've no idea, but Ross Barkley looks assuring.
He's got a house in Bramall and everything.
Yeah. He did.
It's absolutely hilarious. Brilliant.
So yeah, so that's Mingi, and then of course a couple of players have gone out recently. So Hippo and Connor Lemonhay Evans have both gone to. Oh no, one's gone to the fake Dons. One's gone to the real Dons, haven't they? I get those mixed up because Evans was at the real Dons and now has gone to the fake Dons, and Hippo's gone to the real Dons.
He's had quite a bit of a backlash about that, hasn't he? Apparently, he's deleted all his. Evans has deleted all his Wimbledon pictures or tweets or Instagram, whichever one it is, and then got and joined MK Dons. I don't think that's to me. I think that's a good move for him. I think MK Dons suits his style, and what he'll do is playing on the wing and cutting inside. I think he'll do well for MK Dons, and the same with Hippolyte. I think that's a good move for him going to Wimbledon. Because as you say, he's a versatile player, isn't he? And he'd be able to play sort of anywhere along the front, really, or anywhere in midfield and stuff for them. So I think that's a good addition for them. I don't know if Wimbledon were in for it, came in for Evans or not, but it sounds as if MK Dons is trying to splash a bit of cash, trying to get a few people in or stuff. So fair play to them. I think they'll be up there as one of the favourites for next year.
Yeah. But you know what? Do we care? It's League Two, isn't it? Okay, we're in League One now, so yeah. It's this thing. Honestly, it's this thing when players leave. I mean, okay, it's great that they served us in that, but honestly, I'm not really that bothered beyond them leaving county personally. And maybe that's heartless. I don't know. I mean, if I'm watching a match and they're playing, I'll go, they used to play for county. I've done that, since time began, but just not really bother where they go. I mean, okay, he's gone to MK Dons, great. Good luck to him. But
exactly. Yeah, that's to say. I'm not going to be watching watching MK Dons results.
I follow or whatever, or the new I follow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not going to watch MK Dons I follow just because Lemonade Evans has gone there. But the thing is, as you say, the thing is that even go back to with Sars and Paddy is that they've gone to League Two clubs.
Yes.
So you know what I mean. It's if they'd have gone to another League One club, I'd have been like, oh well, somebody thinks that they're League One standard, but because we've released them or not, we've not given them the deal that they wanted, so they've dropped back to League Two. I think that shows more of our ambition of where we want to be or where we're going. So no disrespect to what they've done. They've been brilliant servants to the club, all of them. But now, as you say, we move on and we'll get the next SARS, the next Madden, the next Hippo, all 2.0 versions.
There we go. Sorry about that.
What's your take on it, Righty? Are you one of these that's gutted they've gone, or you can understand it, or where do you sit?
I think it's more nostalgia and what they've done for the club and the history that they've created with us. So it's more sentimental, I think, with me because of their impact on our club. But it's the old 2 and 9, isn't it? What do you lead with, the head or the heart? I think you've just got, in this instance, I think you just got to lead with the head because you've just, we're moving up through the leagues. It's the next stepping stone. We're well ahead of our projected target, if you will. We all want to be in the championship. That's ideal. I mean, we've all got our differences of opinions on where we should finish this season. But you've got to lead with the head. And you've got, like a few of they said in the chat, I think you've just got to trust in who they're going to bring in. They've obviously got the targets. I am worried a little bit that he's getting a little bit late on. I don't know whether they're just keeping us in suspense. That's what I'm hoping anyway. I'm hoping they're just bombard
the transfer window's not officially open yet. It doesn't open.
Yeah.
It doesn't open for another 2 weeks, is it? I think so.
No, but everybody else is doing business. I think Rotherham signed 6 players or something.
Yeah, but they're all free agents, aren't they? So
they're all out of contracts and things
all
like that.
So if we're paying fees if we're paying fees for players, then we're not going to start, releasing them until the transfer window opens.
We say that, but a few of our players have left on fees, haven't they?
Yeah, I was going to say Byrne left on a fee, didn't he?
Yeah, Burns. We got a fee for Byrne, and did we get one for Connor as well?
No, Connor was out of contract.
Was he? Oh, right. My mistake. But yeah, so I think deals can be done. I just don't think they can go through, can they, until the first? So they stay with their original clubs until the transfer window goes through. Yeah.
Yeah. Someone said, Gazendo saying, and Ian Dowden as well. Yeah, the window opens on the 14th of June. So I'm not panicking yet. I must admit, though, I agree with you, Righty. There's an element of me that's irking me that others are signing players. We're not. Are we falling behind because we're letting players go? We are looking thin on the ground and not really. Only Mingi's come in, hasn't he? So
I think it's the fact that, say, for instance, the way my head works is we've got this pool of players that are on frees and really good, and they drop down from Premier League and Championship. And we've got this pool of players, and all of a sudden teams are just kind of like announcing all these signings of good players that we could possibly go in for, and you think to yourself, I wonder how many's left. I wonder how many, are we like going to be left with the little dross at the bottom, or, it's like the murk at an end of a pint, the back split. The back split. It's like, I'm like, oh no, we need to get some reinforcements. And I suppose it is good to get them in early doors and you can get to grips with them. I know they'll have a holiday period now, won't they, where they go off and families, holidays and this, that and the other, because you can't do that through the season. But it's nice to see where the shape's at and yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's me just as a fan being biased and I just want him to go out and spend 5 million on a quality striker dropping from the Premier League or something. I don't know.
But as other people have said, they're probably still on. A lot of them probably still on holiday still. So you're not going to start announcements or things like that.
Yeah.
So we've got to get him to Carrington to stand at the wall with a scarf, haven't we, or the shirt? So can't do that. Can't do that from Marbella.
If I was Charlie, I'd be off round Fuerteventura now with a checkbook. Come on, let's get
in. Got a comment here from Chris Crowther who says, Belly said on the tour yesterday, so inside knowledge, you get all the goss when you go on the tour, that one is expected all down to paperwork. It was expected at 8 tonight. And of course, as we say that, it's 25 to 9 on Wednesday. So that we could have some exclusive news.
It was supposed to have been announced by 8 o'clock if all the paperwork was sorted. That's what I've seen. Yes.
Oh, okay.
So
it was 8 p.m. last night. I do apologise. It was 8 p.m. on Tuesday night. So if you listen to this later in the week, but on Tuesday night it was supposed to be. We're recording this on a Wednesday. Anyway, and this is why I don't let myself get tangled up in knots with stuff like this. I kind of wait till, say, someone like Sam Byrne tweets it because he has got the inside track.
Yeah.
And somebody, maybe somebody that he retweets because I know he's got his sort of trusted sources in the media world. So, yeah, definitely not Cheadland unofficial. Let's put it that way. Speaking of rumours that are probably completely out there, what about the rumours that Charlie's going to Birmingham?
Nah.
As manager?
I don't see it.
No, it's not a city of culture, is it?
I don't know. I can see if you look at the size of the club, then the possibility, but they're in League One. We're going to be playing against them next year. And I still think that they've had new owners have come in. Have they been in 6 months, 8 months now?
The Americans, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and they've still couldn't stop the rot. They've gone through quite a couple of managers and stuff, haven't they? And they've still been relegated. So I think maybe not quite as bad, but I think there's sort of a similar setup or similar sort of position at the minute as like Charlton. So he didn't want to go to Charlton, so I can't see him wanting to go to Birmingham. I mean, I'm obviously all purely hypothetical because I'm not his manager and I'm not speaking to him every day. But I think is it Alex Neil? Isn't he supposed to be the bookie's favourite for it? And I think it's just a lot of their fans that have saying that they should be giving Challoner a chance. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't.
It was St Andrews unofficial that I saw the tweet, so you know.
Oh, it's got
I don't know any stand name.
I don't know any stand name. Unofficial. It's got to be gospel.
Yeah. In conjunction with Cheadland.
Yeah, it's the same bloke.
But you did. I mean, we were sort of briefly messaging each other, weren't we? Right, before about it, and you said a good point, which I totally agree with, which was because of the success of the club, we're going to get these wolves at the door, aren't we? Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's just part of the process, isn't it? That successful teams will get, whether it's management, players, or anything along those lines, there's always going to be an interest. Until you like a City, United, Liverpool, Arsenal type teams where you can afford to keep them at bay, can't you? But they come in. Everyone's got a number on them, haven't they? And if you come in with the right numbers, I think even as Stotty said, I think that's the idea at the moment. Get young players in, blood them, get good numbers for them, and then hopefully progress up the leagues ourselves till we get to a point where we can go, hang on a minute, he's staying with us. So I think that's what we've just got to kind of expect a little bit. We are going to get a little bit of heartbreak, I reckon, at some point when, a good player or the manager or backroom staff are going to end up leaving us. But again, we live to tell the tale, we live to see another day, and hopefully keep going up them leagues. That's what I feel anyway. I don't know.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree.
I think it's their infrastructure as well, because it shows that he works really well with Wilson and a director of football. So I don't know who they've got or if they've got that in place. And as you say, it is starting again, isn't it? How much is he going to get given? Because he's molded our squad into how he wants to play. So you've got to look at what players they've got and what systems they can play for him to be able to have his style of football.
Yeah. But if he's given the funds, they've definitely got the infrastructure, haven't they? If he's given the funds, then Birmingham have a higher ceiling than we do, don't they?
Yeah.
30,000 seat stadium, is it, or whatever? That looks like they're going to invest. So I could see him going there if they approached him and everything was right. What I think is probably going back to what you said. I think you sort of alluded to it, Waggy. They're a bit of a basket case, aren't they? And the infrastructure's probably not there. The boardroom, someone's mentioned it in the chat. The boardroom's a bit of a basket case, a bit of a circus. So why would you jump to that from somewhere where you're so settled and
it seems very, very similar to the way that Charlton have been the last couple of seasons. So as you say, he went and talked to Charlton, didn't he? Or was it Charlton he went to have a chat to last season?
Yeah.
It'd have been on Zoom, wouldn't it? He wouldn't have gone down there.
Well, he was all right. He had a chat with him. Let's he might have been on team,
They borrowed our StreamYard link, didn't they?
I don't know why I've got this envisaged this in my house, but Charlie just sat like this and then just dropping the laptop and walking off. I've had enough of this. I'm off. The things that go through my head worry me sometimes, I tell you.
And of course, I mean, the comments are coming in again. I'm loving this, but the mention of Wilson could get poached as well. Is another thing to put into this.
Yeah.
There is, but again, I think with Wilson, I think it would have to be a really
mega.
Yeah, for him to because he's worked for City.
Yeah,
I mean, he's worked for City. He's worked for UEFA.
Yeah, there's loads of massive clubs bigger than City. Loads.
Yeah, but I mean, the project that he did there, wasn't it? Setting up with New York City and Melbourne City and stuff like that, and that type of thing. He's done that. He's mentioned before. He's worked a lot with UEFA. Fair enough. He sort of failed at Sunderland to a certain extent, but I think that again they're a basket case of a club at the time, weren't they? So
yeah.
anybody that went there got screwed over. So I don't know. I think he's seen, as they want to call it, the project that we've got here with Stock being in charge as well, and at the minute working well with Charlie. So I don't know. I think it'd have to be a mega club or a really, really, top end, like top end job before he'd walk away from County. Unless we're in the Championship settled or Premier League, then he might get a bit bored and then want a new challenge. So
the grass isn't always greener, and sometimes that might be too much of a sidestep for him at Birmingham at the moment. With stuff that's going on there. I've got a close friend of mine that used to work for AFC File and knew Charlie and his missus, and one of the main reasons why we got him and the reasons why he left Hartlepool was to be closer to home at Stockport. And sometimes that can be more than money and more. If everything's going well, his life's content, football's going great, he's breeding success and stuff, that can sometimes be enough for someone that, unless someone comes in with absolute stupid money, that can be enough for someone content. And I go back to what I was saying earlier, if you found the right club and it suits you and everything's going great, that's where you should be really, and go forth with them. You can go to another club. Oh yeah, that looks a good club over there. Yeah, that looks bigger and stuff like that. And you go over there and go, freaking hell, what a mess this is. And then all of a sudden you're instantly regretting, aren't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. I doubted to see out a season at Birmingham with the way they are. The few bad results. I don't think they'd give him the time. I mean, if he had to start at Birmingham like he did at the beginning of the National League season and last season at Birmingham, then 8-9 games down the line, he'd be out, wouldn't he? They're not gonna mess about. They're not gonna sort of look at the bigger picture. They're just gonna go, no, we want instant success, and they want to get out of League One as quickly as possible.
I had Russ asking for a job.
Well, I asked Charlie for a job. What?
Rusk. Well, not Russ.
Oh,
Rusk.
I'm asking for a job. Tell you what, though, there's a job going, isn't there, with Liam Cash with the groundsman team. So if anybody's an experienced groundsman, get yourself onto Liam Cash's team. That'd be mega, that, wouldn't it? I'd love to go for that if I had the skills.
I thought it's skills and financial security, isn't it? Just to go in and just to do that, that'd be absolutely astounding.
Yeah.
As you say, I mean, like every time we spoke with Cashy, he's a proper Stockport fan, and he, other than being a manager or a player, that's pretty much one of the best jobs you can have as a county fan, isn't it? Looking after the pitches.
Yeah.
I'd get on the pitch with Quincy Green.
Yeah. If we could all stop saying Stockport as well, and call it. Sounds like we're not from round here, doesn't it? Which we are. Okay, moving on.
I have to explain myself more when I'm in Liverpool.
This is more of a habit for you, I suppose. It is for you as well, Righty, isn't it? Because you're up in bloody
Preston,
Fair dues. Club shop and the ticket office extension. Again, I was sort of asked to bring it up. I'm not really sure why. The club shop's going bigger, is it? The ticket office we know is being extended. That was the work that I saw being done, not the extension to the ground. It was just the work under the ground. It must be the electric. I don't know. So yeah, the bigger club shop. Does that mean more or a better selection of merchandise? Because that gets a bit of stick, doesn't it?
It does, and I think rightfully so. I don't think we've been very good with merch the last 2 or 3 seasons, realistically. I know there was, when I went in buying the Championship shirt, there was a big, the wall was like basically boarded off. So that just looked like he's getting so as you walked in on the left-hand side, that was all boarded.
Yeah,
that was all just boarded. And then, they're in a temporary ticket office, aren't they, on the other side of the car park at the entrance to the courtyard. So, I mean, it can only be a good thing, can't it? we're going to need more space for them 25,000 shirts that Stock's ordered.
Oh yeah. Just to point something out as well, JK's put it on here. I got emails today from 4 years ago saying that my order was ready for the kits and a travel top. Don't remember ordering a travel top. I must have done. I don't know. I don't even know what a travel top is. I mean, I travel in all my tops.
Well, you don't have a suitcase. You just put them all on at the same time.
I meant individually.
Walk through looking like the Michelin.
What I mean is, I don't put a top on and not travel in it. I go somewhere when I've got a top on.
One of the people who sit next to you on a plane are chuffed to bits.
You can't have an aisle seat because his arm sticks out.
Well, I was wondering that today as well. I think JK's picked up on it. I was wondering that whether they've done something with the system, and obviously they've flushed out a load of emails. I mustn't have got an email telling me it was ready at the time, and all these emails have been sat somewhere in the cloud somewhere, and they've just gone, all these emails. So yeah, bigger. What do you think, Righty? Do you like a big club shop, or do you like a small club shop? I don't even know what I'm talking about. There's no football, is there?
It's kind of only just dawned on me where they're building into, because I thought they were trying to go backwards. But yeah, obviously going into Ticky's office, that would make more sense. Yeah. But yeah, I'd like an option, more options of clothing to wear. Absolutely, yeah. I think you can't wear enough on a plane, can you? It's just, I think you need to get...
The air conditioning can get quite cold on him.
I know, yeah. Well, get a bit chilly, won't it? You just need to...
Well, I was going to say, at what point do we call it a mega store?
When it's built.
You'll have to have a sign to say it's a mega store.
Yeah, when
it's got a sign up saying mega store.
Yeah, it's got a sign up saying mega store, or it's about the same size as Sports Direct.
Yeah.
Oh, dear me. Yeah, but it's not security on the door.
Yeah, Damon Carroll says he wants a Stockport County frying pan. Not really sure why, but yeah. Any other merch? Does anybody want? What would you have? I want a champion scarf. There you go. That's what I want.
A legit one, not a knockoff one.
Yeah, no, I've got a knockoff one. I can't really say anything. Supporting my club's mega store. Oh, flipping heck.
Yeah. I remember the club shop when it was on Hardcastle Street. You know, when it was that tiny club shop on the front. Remember that? Tiny one. I'm not even sure you could go in it. I think you could go in it and order stuff. I don't think you could go in and look around and browse. Might be, again, remembering it wrong there, which is probably likely. So that's that. And before we get on to getting reses, a bit of a word on England. So the teaser that I said before about Righty and the England thing was because, Righty, you're going to the Euros, and you're going to do us a... Are you going to do us a podcast while you're there, a live pod while you're there? Or
I'm going to do a live podcast. Yeah, I'm flying from... Well, I explained to you before that it was 420 quid flights from Manchester to Frankfurt. My arse nearly fell out. I was like, are you joking? One way. So we did a bit of juggling, and I managed to get flights from Manchester to Dublin for 17 quid, then Dublin to Frankfurt for 150. So I managed to... So I'm doing a bit of a Euro trip as it is to get there. But my mates are driving, so I'm catching them up there. And we've got tickets to go and watch the Denmark game on the 20th, which I think that's a second group game. And yeah, I'll be over there. So the Wednesday I'll be travelling, so I'll be up fairly early anyway. I'm travelling out there. But if you want to, we'll do a podcast roughly the same time as you normally do, and I'll jump on and do half an hour stint with you. I'll probably be half cut, but it'll make to entertaining chat, won't it? Me talking verbal diarrhea more than normal.
Absolutely. I've got to put this comment up because I think it's probably the comment of the night. Anthony Nick, about just going back to the club shop, and we'll talk about England in a sec again. Anthony Nixon says, found what he'd like in the shop. I'd like to select an item to buy without asking if it's in a cardboard box out back. That tickled me. That nice one.
Brilliant. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So I got it's in Frankfurt. So I've looked at the stadium. It looks a bit fantastic and that. And there's 4 of us going over. It's part of my mate's company. So if anyone just types into Facebook PR1 Travel VIP, and he sorts out all corporate events, especially to do with football and sporting events, boxing, all that sort of stuff. So anybody who wants to jump on that, he does a lot of corporate stuff, and it's brilliant. I can firsthand say it's fantastic. And he's looked after us going out there. I mean, the tickets aren't cheap, but 275 quid a ticket.
What?
So not cheap, but decent seats, like I said. And they'll be able to fulfill a dream of going watching England in Europe. So whilst it's close in Germany.
Yeah. So is that a ticket? Did you have to be part of England fans or anything like that, or is this a ticket that's on the market kind of thing?
No, I think so. He's got memberships with pretty much all Premier League teams, a lot of Championship teams, and that, and a lot in England as well. So he gets all the priority tickets, if you will, and managed to get 4 between us. So we're going to Germany for 4 days, but we're going for 3 days, and then we're having a night out in Luxembourg. Random as anything, but road trip on the way. You've seen the film Euro Trip, haven't you? I think it'll be a little bit like that, won't it?
I can imagine trying to hit the lift.
Yeah.
Can you imagine in Luxembourg, it's going to be probably the most expensive place you've ever been, is it? Unless you've been to Monaco or something. Because is it like dead expensive?
I have no idea. You assume I've had any say in this. I have not. I'm probably going to be kidnapped and taken that way because I'm in the car on the way back. So photos will follow and ensue on their on X. So you'll be able to stay in contact with the journey, and there'll be loads of photos uploaded on there. But there'll be loads of Stockport content with my flag, because I've got a massive big flag with loads of memories on it and stuff like that. Big banner, so I'll be taking that with me. And obviously doing the podcast with you guys. That'll be entertaining. And might even see if I can find a suitable Danish person that can jump on for a couple of minutes and give his insight as well.
Or her insight. Their
Or
insight.
her, yeah. Or her, yeah. Or her.
It's all right.
It's very Scandinavian. Discrimination, I know. Flipping heck. Heck. Well, I don't know what we're using. Is it they, them, or what?
Yeah, I just kind of keep it non-binary. I just kind of keep it in the middle for me. Yeah, you will find somebody. They will, and they might come on the podcast. Yes.
Yes,
there we go. So I know the England team have met up today. Have they? First training session, I think it was today on Wednesday. And then we've got Bosnia and Herzegovina in a couple of weeks, and then Iceland after that, and then it's into the Euros, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
Is it the 3rd or the 6th of June that we've got the first?
I think I wrote it down. I think it's the 14th of June.
Is that the first?
Oh no, that 14th of June is the first game of the tournament.
First game of the tournament, but the two friendlies we've got. I thought one was in the 3rd or the 6th.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah. They'll stagger them out, won't they? It's probably into next week, isn't it, that we start getting those friendlies in.
Yeah.
But it'll be good, and he's got to name his actual tournament squad, hasn't he? Pretty soon as well. So that'll be interesting.
11 o'clock after the last friendly game. So
right.
You play a friendly at 8 o'clock, finish that at whatever, 9:45, 10 o'clock, and then at 11 o'clock he's got to name his final squad.
Yeah. So
what's he down
join us.
How many?
I want to say 25, but I'm not sure.
You can take more this year, can't they? That's what they've done.
26, I think it is. He's got 33 in there now, and he's got to get rid of 8.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe.
So yeah, someone might clear that up on us. I don't know.
So it'll be good. It'll be good. And yeah, stay tuned on this podcast because we will be doing England podcasts for the duration of the tournament. We'll have a nice new England branding, probably. I'll knock one up. And we'll do that. Yeah. Simon Lomas says 33 down to 2067, Waggy. So
all right.
But anyway.
We knew what we were getting. We weren't getting Carol Vorderman on here, were we? It's just wagging.
I can only count to 9.
You know, he spoke German. 9.
So last part of the show, then getting reses. I must admit, I haven't got one.
I've not got one, apart from putting me in the reses for my maths.
But do send us in your getting reses into the chat, and we'll pick one or two up if that's all right with you lot. And I'll just play the jingle. I need to change the jingle, but let's play the jingle, and then we'll talk about getting reses.
Reses. Get in the reses. Get in the reses.
I'm not having that.
Get in the reses.
Oh, getting reses.
I need to change that. There's so much that I need to do. I'll get it done over the summer, promise. Go on then, Righty. You said you had a getting reses, didn't you?
I've got, yeah, I had to think about this. I had a couple. I think it's just been kiboshed in the last 5 minutes of having a conversation with you. I did have. Yeah, you've ruined it for me a little bit with them friendlies because I had between the 2nd of June and the 13th of June. That can get in the reses because he's not Champions League final to the start of the Euros is the 2nd to the 13th, and he's going to be hardly any football played in them dates. So that can get in the reses for me. So that was one. But then you told me about the friendlies, so I was like, crap, now I've got to think of another. So I have got another, and I've got vultures. They can get in the reses. Stop circling around our players and staff. Retract your claws and get away. Get in the reses, drowned.
Yeah, nice one. Yeah, we'll have that. Stop. Get off our players, man. Get off our players. So there's some stuff is coming. David Whitehead says finding a transfer to Alicante from Alicante to Pinatar can get in resident. It can, David, but don't worry. If push comes to shove, we'll share a taxi. I've been chatting with David in the background about getting a bus from Alicante Airport to Pinatar, but I'm sure we'll work something out. Gazendo says, yeah, knockoff champion scarves can get in the races.
Could he not get one? Could he not get one on the day?
Don't look. Nothing to see here.
I didn't buy one because I'm thinking, the club will put some out, but gutted.
No, when I bought my shirt, I asked them because I've got one for the National League North and I've got one for the National League, and I asked them if they were going to do scarves, and the guy in the shop came back and said no because they'd gone to the retailer to purchase them, and the lead time was somewhat like I think he said it was 12 to 14 weeks before they could actually get any scarves to them. So it was like, well, what's the point of that type of thing? So that's why you had to buy yourself a knockoff one. They are still available on eBay if you want. I'm not on commission or anything, but I believe they're on eBay.
I might have a look because I do need one because I have got the National League North and the National League One, and I need the third so I can start building hotels. Need the set, don't I?
Well, enough, I'm selling this one for £275. It's the same price as my ticket to the Euro.
Oh yeah.
Incidentally, it's weird, isn't it? It's weird.
Coincidental, that is.
See that. Right. I've not got any more getting the reses, to be honest. I'll be honest with you.
No, I've not got one at all.
Just being honest. So, do you know what? An hour's gone already. How time flies, doesn't it?
Time flies when you're having fun.
Doesn't it?
Absolutely.
It does. It's
a stress-free environment now. Stress-free environment. Not playing. Won the league.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like I can sit in my seat, relax a little bit with my knockoff scarf and chat shit. So, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what? I've just been in the comments, I've just been pulled up about on the rules of Monopoly by, because I said I can build hotels because I've got all three. Nick 10's put house or houses. I think that's what he means anyway. Yeah, I can build houses because you can't build hotels till you've. Anyway, please do like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Rate and review on whatever podcast player you are listening to us on. Also, this Friday, don't forget the Caron Palmer special episode, bonus episode is out to everybody. Thanks to all our patrons. They got that ad-free as soon as I published it, basically, which was Sunday, I think. So they'll be getting, if you're a patron, you'll be getting ad-free content first before everybody else. We have got other special guests lined up. I don't want to say who they are just yet because, as is with people in the industry, they don't always happen when I want them to happen on because they're busy, I'm busy, blah, blah, blah. We're busy. The podcast crew are busy. So look out for that. I think, Waggy, we are going to do the review of the season out with a Courtyard Club called Reviews of the Season in sort of chunks.
Yes.
That's going to happen when Waggy comes back off holiday because he's going on a long cruise to celebrate him being 50. Because you're not going to do it while you're on holiday, are you? So that's
no, definitely not. No. I tried telling my missus that I was going to do one of them from the cruise ship, but yeah, she didn't take it very well. Don't know why.
No, I don't blame her. Don't blame her. And of course, we're going to speak to Righty when we're when you're live in England, and probably when you're not, when you're back in Blighty and we're watching it on the telly. We'll probably get you on to do an England. You're our England correspondent now. Let's put it that way.
I love it. I'm loving these new titles. Yeah, flipping that. That's great.
I know, yeah. Friend of the show, an England correspondent. There we go. Right. Thanks to everybody for watching and for listening. Thank you very much. And we shall see you next week when we'll be back with another weekly show. I'll be with somebody else because Waggy will be on holiday. And yeah, I mean, thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you later.
And if anyone